All right, we are live. So this is Epic Sketch Time on June, what day is it? June 7th,
Yep.
2016. My name is James Stowe. I am a cartoonist. I create a little webcomic called Sidekick Quests. You can read it at sidekickquest.com. And tonight I am joined by three other amazing cartoonists. And for the next hour or so, we are going to be drawing epically. Gentlemen, would you like to introduce yourselves, please?
I'm Bill Morse, cartoonist and illustrator, and I work on a comic strip called Rhapsodies at wpmorse.rhapsodies.com.
My name is Mark Monlutz. I have two webcomics, The Return of Stickman and The Comic Critic.
My name's Pat McEwen. I primarily do a comic called The Devil and Mr. Gandhi, but I'll be working on some designs for my other comic project, Shakespeare Young. You can find it at shakespeareyoung.com and on Twitter at Shakespeare Young.
So I know we were talking a little bit about it before we went live, but Pat, do you want to talk about this new project at all?
Yeah, I'll see if I can pull up an image or two. It's basically going to be a historically based comic that will also involve futuristic time travel and some guest appearances by some famous historical figures. And it'll definitely be on the edge of all ages in terms of its readership. And it'll primarily take place in the year 1894.
So more young than Shakespeare.
Well, there won't actually be too much. The name will not be driving the entire narrative.
Ah.
Tonight I am working on a preliminary, another revision to a preliminary sketch that a client gave me. It's a golf tournament. I do this thing every year. And this might be the last year I do it for them. Oh, because they're a terrible client.
No.
They always promise that they will pay faster than the year before. But last time, after promises and promises, 6 months before I saw the check, because I decided not to call and nag them continuously because that's not my job. And so it was a little irritating to have to deal with that. Also, they tend to, ask for a bunch of revisions. I hate revisions. They disregard my suggestions, and they continue to, just go their own way. And anymore, I find that I really prefer my corporate clients, the larger budgets, who are just, oh my God, that's just great. Thank you so much. So it's a matter of, the only reason I'm doing it now is when he called me initially, it was during a large project that I was doing a month ago. And honestly, this project should have been done a month ago. But I said, nope, absolutely no way I can work on it. And then they're one of those type of clients that totally disregard what you said. You know, don't take no for an answer and call it back to, what about now? Can you work on it now? And since I didn't have anything happening today, I thought, okay, well, put something out there. And of course, it's turned into what I call a circus, where it's instead of one nice focal image, it's a whole bunch of different images, and it'll just take me a lot longer to draw. And
It's all right. Messed up.
yeah, it's originally what my idea was just this, or rather, their idea was a go-kart that looked like the car on the front of the Beach Boys album, but was also a Woody. So I just want to remind people that the car on the front of the Beach Boys album is not a Woody. It's a beach truck. So anyway, wanted to have a girl in a sand trap, sunbathing. I left that out completely in the first sketch, but it's back now. If it, originally when I did this, it was just a cart with a guy on top holding the surfboard, gal with a drink, a tiki guy in the back, golf clubs. To me, that said golf.
Mm-hmm.
And was a nice, simple, central, strong image by itself. But now you've got like 3 different focal points happening.
Yes, it sure do.
And you can see it's a weaker image. But, the client wants what the client wants. So I will give the client what they want. Because my New Year resolution this year was to be less of a dick.
What?
Yeah, that was my New Year's resolution, was to be less of a dick. And you know how hard it is to be less of a dick when you...
I guess if you are a dick, I would imagine. I've never thought of you that way.
Well, I was contemplating my actions. I thought it'd be a really easy, New Year's Eve resolution to do. But every time I turned around, I realized, boy, I'm really acting like a dick.
Well, I read then.
So, and this guy made me fall off my resolution so hard that I'm trying to, be mellow about it. I think I'm going to...
So I know last time this week, when I talked about my Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
I still had like $1,000 to go. But as of right now, with 4 days left, I am funded. Woo!
Congratulations.
And I'm about $1,200 up. So we are well on our way. I'm going to have a very busy summer.
Great.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Actually, I've come to find that now I'm a little sad that I'm not going to get constant Kickstarter reminders all the time. I've really come to enjoy them. I'm going to have to do more Kickstarter projects, I think. Although maybe once I've reached fulfillment point, I'll rethink that idea. But for now, I've really enjoyed the whole process.
It's from everything I've heard, it's quite the rush.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely stressful, and there are some anxiety aspects to it, but I really, overall, I think I've really enjoyed it. I've certainly learned a lot of stuff from it. I am eager to do another one.
Is your wife eager for you to do another one?
I'm not sure about that, although she was very happy that you wrote her. But Mark wrote my wife and let her know that I shouldn't be working all the time. Which is pretty fun, because I do, in fact, work all the time. But at least
Now, do
now
you
she
think
has
that falls under the category of my breaking my New Year's resolution again, or?
No, that was great. I mean, I asked you to do it. I think it really, it's good to hear every once in a while from one of my professional friends that, yeah, I can take it easy a little bit sometimes. Which I tend to be a bit of a workaholic.
Yeah, my cousin once told me I should try a Kickstarter campaign without intent to succeed, but just for as a marketing technique. I'm sort of being iffy about it. One, because I didn't think I had enough visibility based on my analytics numbers to pull it off, and two, not sure what kind of project to do. For a while, I was thinking of doing a collection of my Christmas storylines, but by all accounts, Christmas merch just doesn't work, especially in non-Christmassy times.
Sure. Yeah, I would definitely pick something with a bit more broader appeal than that.
I mean, the idea appealed to me because it's sort of, most of them are standalone, and they're rather raw, manic fantasy.
Well, do you do any standalone work?
Besides the illustrations, not recently. I did this hard science fiction for children that I have been considering redoing as a children's book, as opposed to the comic.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't like the original version. I mean, looked fine, but it was pretty much nothing but exposition. But I thought I did a good job with the scale and everything.
Well, I will say this, just from a building exposure social media experiment, which is one of the things I was doing when I went into this project. Yeah. I would say that I am definitely seeing a lot of return there. A lot of my social stretch goals have already triggered. As a matter of fact, just a few seconds ago, I double-checked and I hit a new one. So not only, I mean, that was one of the main reasons I wanted to do this project, was to just get more people interested in this comic, this game idea thing.
Uh-huh. So a lot of the people who were making pledges weren't your regulars?
Oh yeah, no, I've gained. Let's see. Let me look at the numbers real quick. I just posted them online. Let's see. I've gained 97 new Twitter followers for the comic. 82 new likes to the Facebook page, and the campaign itself has been shared about 78 times with my really terrible hashtag. I'm sure it's been shared a lot more than that without it, but I'm only tracking the hashtag shares. Although, if I were to do that again, I would not do it.
Okay.
I have a topic that I'd like to ask you guys once we're off of this one. So,
No, go ahead. We can switch around.
a friend of mine who's a lawyer, he and I often call each other up and talk about lawyer-type things. And at first, we've been trying to figure out a way to do like a podcast together, but he wants to do none of the recording or any of that noise. He just wants to be part of the conversation. Let me deal with the rest of it. Which is, I'm not really terribly thrilled about doing a bunch of heavy lifting myself. I've got like 3 years worth of graphic novel meeting things that are on tape that I need to convert and put onto YouTube, and that's so many other things I'd rather do than deal with editing. But he and I were thinking, maybe we should just do it via Hangout. Now I'm just trying to get him to do the Hangout. Is that something where you got an artist and you got a lawyer talking, but what should we call this thing? Lawyer and artist?
Well,
I mean, I come up with the worst names, and I'd like to have something catchy.
What is your
You're going to have to repeat that, Stowe. You came out like, Muppets. I couldn't understand.
What is your subject matter / target audience?
Artists who want to know more about copyright law, or people who are interested in the copyright law that's around graphic art, photography, less about the music industry, about copyright, and more about the visual aspects. But basically, it's going to be copyright-centric.
Right.
What is your lawyer friend's name?
Daniel Abraham, and he's also terrible at coming up with names. Like his email address is daniel@legaleasel.com. So
He isn't part of Lawyers for the Arts, is he?
I don't think he does that. He was one of the Graphic Artists Guild lawyers for a long time. But yeah, if you're thinking Abraham and Monlux copyright, no, that sounds even worse.
That sounds like a firm title.
Well, I immediately thought of your name being Mark and then playing off of trademark.
Yeah, work that with Abraham. That's perfect. Or Daniel,
What about copyrights and
Nice.
wrongs?
I think we want to have it to be more about us because we want this to be a vehicle for. This is a way for him to drum up business from artists.
Yeah, but do you guys have a following as celebrities?
Yeah, because I get hired, and the reason I want to do it is I want other lawyers to know about me because I often have been hired as a professional witness in the past. So,
Sorry, I misheard that. Witness or litmus?
professional witness.
Oh, okay.
I object. I'd like to call Stickman to the witness stand, please.
So that's like what Heinlein describes in Stranger in a Strange Land?
What? Highland talks about Stickman?
No, professional witnesses.
Have you never heard of a professional witness?
Not outside of Stranger in a Strange Land.
A professional witness is someone who's brought in from a certain profession to be an expert in and be used as an expert.
Oh, okay.
For example, I get called in on trying to figure out how much a logo should be underneath a given circumstance and be able to write up a report and give examples of such logos. In this case, in one case, this fellow wanted to get some recognition from the police department. All he wanted to get was a certain particular type of award and be written up that they gave him this award for putting together this patch. Well, he never got the award. The patch ended up going beyond a patch and becoming sort of like the town's logo for the police department. So he was saying, hey, this is infringement because it went beyond the scope of what they wanted. Plus, he never got paid for it.
Right. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I do know what that is. I just never heard it called professional witness. I heard expert witness, which, yes, I do know that the lawyers pay them.
So I was able to pull up some articles from Communication Arts Magazine that talked about when this design group put together the Phoenix, Arizona Police Department logo and how much that was worth, and drew a parallel of the amount of workload involved and different things, but basically put an amount on it that he could go to a lawyer with and say, this is what it's worth, this is a professional, this is his evidence why it's worth this much. And I've been hired to do that a couple times.
Cool.
I wouldn't mind doing more of that work because it's fun.
It's 8 o'clock.
Thank you, Bill, for that announcement.
Could have been worse. I used to have it set for 15 minutes. Drove me crazy.
So, any ideas besides attorney and artist? Stowe, I was really counting on you because you've always come up with such clever names before.
Yeah, but you just want to talk about. I mean, attorney and artist is exactly what you want it to be.
legal visual.
How about legal papers?
Legal papers.
Eh, not bad, but not clear.
Yeah, it goes more into like legal issues rather than copyright. Maybe I should call it art law.
Art law is not bad.
No, but
It's
it's
concise and says exactly what you want it to do.
but is it but based on what you said you want it to be, isn't that still too general?
It's snappier. I think people will remember it faster.
And you're not planning on editing it, you're just going to do it live?
Yeah, just going to do it live, at least until we can, see if we can get we're going to come up with sort of like a rough outline of some topics to cover so that we would come into it not completely cold going, well, I think there was this case, but being able to actually cite specifics.
Would you do it?
Would you take people's comments?
Yeah, because I think we would do this as an on-air thing.
Right.
Well, you were briefly reminding me of this podcast I've been following that's mostly about H.P. Lovecraft, but that guy does it as pretty much a letter bin.
I've done the letter bin route before, and I'm still doing that. Or rather, I could keep doing that. I used to do this article, or rather this column called Ask Mark. I've got, dozens and dozens of things of that nature. And I'm thinking art law would be good. But yeah, we would just do, and I also want to keep it short, nothing longer than half an hour on a YouTube thing, because most people aren't even interested in watching something that's 4 or 5 minutes long. So I know that I wouldn't watch anything hour long.
The only long stuff I listen to on YouTube is audiobooks, but I don't think that counts.
What about the rest of you guys? Any of you watch anything longer than, I think the longest thing I watch is Crash Course videos, which are around 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I don't, not any long stuff. And most of the longer things I listen to are either scripted or like live play stuff.
So you would agree keeping it short, like to between 15 to 30 minutes, would be a better way to go?
Yeah, well, it all depends on, I mean, if you're interacting with people, I'd say no, but if you are archiving uh, YouTube videos, I would say yes. Also, how about artist-in-law?
Artist-in-law, okay.
Well, I've got another one too. Instead of all rights reserved, art rights reserved.
That one comes off as a little vague.
I've written it down. It might bring. I'm sending this file off to my client.
It is so predictable at about this time, everyone just stops talking.
Sorry.
This is when I should have like a question ready and prepared. Like, are you guys reading anything new?
So I've been.
I should check that.
Would you guys like to see my final completed artwork for the Jean-Luc Picard Day?
Sure.
The Angry Picard painting?
Yes, the Angry Picard painting.
Sure.
He must be dealing with Q.
When is it due? The 11th, right?
Oh dear.
He's staring into my soul. Look at that. Oh, Lord.
I think it might make a little good profile picture on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook.
Yeah, put a wig on it and the Hawaiian shirt and.
So I'll be dropping that off tomorrow along with my tiny.
You know when we're supposed to. What's the last date for dropping off? The 11th, right?
I'm not sure. You'd have to check the minutes.
I'm pretty sure it's the 11th.
Hang on, I'll look online.
Hey, I told you that I'm not going to be there tomorrow, right?
Yes, you did.
I let Brill know too.
I'm looking it up right now. Hmm. That's a little odd. It must have been mentioned in the feed sometime the last couple of days.
What?
Ah, here we go. Captain Picard Day. Details.
So is there some sort of geek-in joke that I'm not aware of for this date?
Are you not a Star Trek fan of the net?
Not enough to know what. Oh, it's his birthday, right?
No, there was an episode in which it was Jean-Luc Picard Day on aboard the Enterprise, where all the school children would do artwork celebrating their captain. And he had to choose, the winners of the art show. It was something he didn't like to do because he didn't think it was, well, let's just say he was being modest about it, but the school children wanted to do it. Anyway, someone got the idea of that particular day, which was mentioned in the episode, being Jean-Luc Picard Day, and started putting together art shows.
Ah.
And I ran into the gal who won the last 3 art shows in the Portland area, and she showed me some of her pieces in a portfolio, and they were just hilarious. I'm truly hoping that she will resubmit.
Yeah. Okay, I figured it was something like how May the 4th is simultaneously Star Wars Day and Alice in Wonderland Day.
It says here that the drop-off of old pieces needed to be at Tinkertopia between June 10th and June 15th.
Great. Excellent.
So your deadline of June 11th would probably work. But now that you've heard the 15th, you're going to wait till the 14th, won't you?
I really am.
So I'll leave my Facebook page.
I might have to watch this episode.
The episode of Jean-Luc
I think I actually do remember it. It had there. He was stuck in one of the service tubes with three kids, wasn't he?
Was that the episode where he became a kid?
No.
What? There was an episode where he became a kid?
Oh yeah, and he had hair.
Yeah, because I think they forgot all about the colony ship stuff after season 2.
So Patrick, you're looking up John Stewart, or pardon me, Enterprise pictures, or
Yeah, I just pulled that up quickly and have it up on my screen here. That has a lot of great kind of one-liners and subtle humor in that episode. Because he winds up having to explain to like an admiral what Captain Picard Day is, and he's like, "It's because they admire me so much." And the lady admiral's like, "I'm sure they do."
Okay, I'm definitely gonna watch this.
I'm seeing if I can find any of the Captain Picard Day.
Now, I'm sure you guys do, but do you ever find when you were scripting a comic that the characters begin to behave in a way that you did not necessarily intend, and you find that you don't like them very much on occasion?
Oh yeah.
This is one of those pages where uh, I know I wrote it. Like, I'm well aware I wrote it. It is my fault that I wrote it. So that this page is not exactly what I would have wanted to happen. Which is weird. I know because I wrote it, but still.
Well, I had one character. A few times the characters pretty much became completely different on me through some of these scripts, and then as far as the worst one of I don't like this, but it's in character, was happily with some side characters I was doing, which was all about some frat boy rednecks crashing a Wiccan ceremony in a park.
Oh, jeez.
And the dialogue I was giving these kids was somewhere in my back brain that I was not very comfortable admitting that I had.
Uh,
To put it bluntly, I wrote the line, "What's the matter? Is Jesus not good enough for you?" And
I found some Jean-Luc Picard Day artwork on the internet. Check out my screen.
this is from past events
Yes, this is from
that's
past.
around the country.
Yeah,
that's
let's see. There's this one.
Oh, that's very classy.
Let's
Oh my
see.
God, the one with the puppies is perfect. Holy
yeah. I
crap.
mean,
How about this one?
Kirk gets.
Oh my Lord.
This is proof that Picard is better than Kirk. Kirk gets drowned in tribbles. Picard gets golden
Whoa,
retrievers.
somebody made a dress.
Oh yeah, there's even a picture of her wearing the dress. Here we
Oh,
go. That was one dress. Apparently there were two dresses. Let me find the other one here.
dude, the puppy painting.
Oh, this is the gal who won the contest several times. But yeah, the puppy painting. Oh my God, hilarious. Oh, this is one of her entries. But this is the one of hers that I really
Oh
like.
my, wait, go back, because that's a little tiny baby Jesus Riker, and that is hilarious.
Yar as an angel. Oh God, I was paying so much attention to Yar as an angel that I missed the.
And look, we got a little Q up here.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's so much to love in that painting.
Well, that's kind of like this Sacred Heart, right?
So here's the one that she explained to me. That's these are all the women in Picard's life on the
Nice.
show. And I was and she did this lampshade.
Oh dear Lord.
Oh, is that needlework?
I think she just painted it, but I could be wrong. Let's see,
Wow.
what's this? What do you think of that guy?
Oh my God. Oh,
Disturbing.
that's a high bar right there.
I'm looking in the background at all the card artwork. There's some. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. Let's see. and of course the more serious.
Oh yeah, look at
But no, it's the more amateurish efforts that go way over the top. That
that.
now,
Well, that's in the nature of the original celebration.
that one.
Wow.
Oh, the look on Stuart's face is great there.
Oh, that must be from the episode right there.
This is from the episode. I think Riker picks up this little Jean-Luc Picard doll and starts, um, doing a funny voice with it. Like, make it so. I'm kind of curious about this little, sculpture piece right here. I thought about doing a sculpture, but then I thought, I'll just go ahead with the painting I had in mind.
Yeah, I like the painting. Oh man, you should show our friend Ryan's piece.
Oh, okay.
'Cause that's going to be a tough one to top. Whoa, what was that?
That was my text message on my phone. Let's see. Let's see if I can find Ryan's work. Oh, here we go. Let me pull it up. There we go.
That is disturbing.
Yes, the title of it is "What Would Picard Do?"
Yeah, it is so perfect.
Let's see. Here's another future submission. Someone's putting together. Let's see what else is on the. Oh, Miss Darcy is quilting together a Jean-Luc Picard. How's that looking?
Impressive.
Did you say she's quilting?
Take a look at the screen.
Oh, whoa. Oh, jeez, I got to get off my butt.
Yeah, you just can't pump out something simple like you were going to now, are you?
No, I really can't. Damn it.
And here's the one that Genevieve Schwimmer was putting together.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Let's see. Oh, speaking of topics, last week Stowe mentioned the Hail Hydra gorilla,
Mhm.
and I went ahead and drew one. It did not get as many hits or as much traction.
I think you got to move that. You got to move at the speed of the internet, buddy.
Yeah.
They had already moved on to Stanford rapists and Mexican judges. I do not recommend that you draw a rapist Mexican judge. Do not do that.
Oh, God.
Are you looking at the hobo dollar one?
No, I was just... Of the Mexican judge, I was suddenly having an image of a judge played by the actor who played the Generalissimo in the spaghetti western I watched last night, with a ridiculously large mustache and an even bigger sombrero.
tell me, who here, besides myself, has seen Paul Newman in a Western called Judge Roy Bean?
I know.
No, not me.
No.
But we talked at length this week about how westerns are not my movies.
And I had a good run of westerns last night.
Which ones did you watch?
Santaro, when you see Santaro, Pray for Death, and High Plains Drifter.
And what
Santaro
are you
is
going to pick up tomorrow?
haven't decided yet. I've been looking at the 3 lists you emailed as a start. But I was pleasantly surprised how much I liked High Plains Drifter.
So does anyone in this repainted thrift shop painting, does anyone recognize the movie that I'm doing this off of?
That looks like if we're talking about the monster, that looks like Ray Harryhausen's creature from The Beast from 1,000 Phantoms. No, wait a minute. 1001 BC.
Nope. A much more terrible stop motion guy did this one. Totally done in the UK. It was. It was called. Pardon me?
Orgara, Giganta.
No, though. Those were done within the close year. No, this was a really horrible one. I think the only name American actor in it was Donald Pleasance. It was called The Giant Behemoth. Apparently, the British are just as good at naming their movies as I am.
I was going to say, that's kind of redundant, isn't it? Oh, speaking of monster stuff, have you been following the comic book Kaiju Max?
Nope. I'm not really a big comic guy, honestly. So
I read the first issue and liked it quite a bit, but I never picked up the rest of it. Is it a fun read?
Yeah, it's even more fun if you're a Kaiju fan, because it has every imaginable in-joke about rubber suit movies, Saiyan movies, Masked Rider references, you name it.
Stowe, take a look at the screen and tell us about what this photo is with you.
That's I was at my daughter's elementary school arts night, and I was sketching with kids, as you can tell by the table. I was several hours in because the table had been destroyed by that point. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. I brought coloring sheets and the classic old draw this pirate art test.
Yeah.
I made up a few sheets of those.
Oh, speaking of, I was at the Olympia Comic Fest, and a guy brought in actual worksheets from those classes, and and also with homework assignments that got sent in and commented by various students. He bought them online for like $50.
Oh, that's funny.
And he bound them up in a book, and I went, wow, and they were really good comments. I'm thinking, wow, this is good stuff. I mean, some of the art was okay, and some of the art was really stellar. Anyway, gentlemen, I'm going to sign off. It's 8:30.
Oh, is it already? Yeah, I think I need to get out of here too. I got kids to get to bed.
See you all next week.
Yeah, good one. Are you guys gonna stick around? Or are you guys done too?
I have other things, so I better call quits as well. You all see you next week.
Wait, is that Trump?
It sure is.
Wow. Wait, is this Trump as part of the comic that you were mentioning, or is this another thing?
No, no. This is back to Devil and Gandhi.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, wait, what? That is a really good Trump. I like his tiny hands.
Yeah, I think I'm signing off as well. So I
All
will.
right. Well, before you do, I want to say thank you very much for all the help you've done with the Kickstarter.
Oh, my pleasure.
You have been an amazing resource, and I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. It was very exciting to see the crossover event. That was very exciting.
That is by far what I consider my best ideas ever. Well, did I forget where I talked about it. I think it might have been that latest podcast I was on, but it bears repeating here before we go. When I found out that Vince was doing a Kickstarter too, I couldn't help myself but be like, oh my God, it's going to drive me crazy just comparing my Kickstarter to his Kickstarter. And, the anxiety that would cause me was kind of driving me a little crazy. So instead of doing it that way, where I couldn't really enjoy his success, I wanted to come up with a way to do something that we were both promoting each other and could really just enjoy the fact that we were both doing this really cool thing. So, I touched base with him. I tried to explain what I wanted to do, and he said that seemed like a good idea, so we went ahead and did it. And I'll tell you what, I'm so glad I did, because I am now promoting his stuff and going to his page almost as often as I'm going to my page to see how well he's doing. And he's doing really good. He's really close, and he's got a long time to go. I'm sure at this point he feels like it's the worst right now, but I think he's well on track.
Definitely. Yeah, he had a huge first. His first 48 to 72 hours was huge. He raised a lot in those first.
Yeah, well, he was a Kickstarter pick, which was awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
He's at. Let me see. He's at 67 right now of 8,000 with 15 days to go. Oh my God, he's totally gonna reach it. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love that comic so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, with that, I think I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay, you all have a good.
Next week. Have a good one. Thanks for staying up with us.